Oh hey, quick question. Why do Japanese people hate God? I read so many manga and like half of them end up with the main characters killing God. Are Japanese people like super atheist? Oh, I don't believe God exists. But if they do, I'll make sure they don't. I think I made a new friend. My manga addiction. Power scaling. That's the reason for killing God. Just wanted to get that out there before someone clever makes an actually comment. So, it's been months since I made a video, and some of you may be thinking, wow, Ellen sure is working hard on a video. And like, no, I've been reading manga. Another beautiful sunrise. I'm See, in the last video, I talked about One Piece, so I needed to catch up with One Piece. And that took a day, so that was fine. But after I read One Piece, I started Grand Blue. And while One Piece is a gateway drug, Grand Blue is straight crack. Hey, you got any more of the blue stuff? Yeah, here. Whoa, not that. I meant the Grand Blue stuff. Oh, my bad. Looks like I'm out. But I got lots of this though. The hell is this? Isekai? Bro, you want it or not? I'll take it all. So, the thing is, I'm a cyclical binge reader. For a few months, I spend all of my free time reading a bunch of manga. Then I stop for several years, and then I repeat the cycle. And you know what? It can suck at times. Now, these cycles present an interesting situation, because I'm able to map out phases of my life based on the manga I was reading. And I figured it'd be fun to talk about that. Totally not because I wasted too much time on manga and I feel the need to justify that in some form. So, let's begin. Power scaling. Just bringing that back because my first manga reading phase was Phase 1, the Shonen edgelord. Naruto, One Piece, Beelzebub, Katekyo Hitman Reborn, History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi, Medaka Box. I read pretty much any shonen manga I could get my hands on, but no manga was more significant to me than Bleach. And man, Bleach was my childhood edgelord fantasy. Like, you don't understand. I gotta, hold on, I'm gonna switch cameras for a bit. Okay, check this out. I got this sword when I was learning martial arts. We got to choose between a smooth brown sword or this blocky black sword. And I obviously chose the one that looked more like Ichigo's Bankai. I mean, I would have chosen it anyway because it's the edgier sword. It literally has more edges! The only downside is that it doesn't come with a hilt, but honestly, it might be better that way, cause like, Ichigo's hilt is basically a swastika, which, you know, not great. Funny story, when I was in elementary school, I would often draw the swords from Bleach, and one day I was like, oh, what does the hilt on Ichigo's Bankai look like? And I ended up drawing swastikas all over my notebook. I didn't know what they were. They don't teach world history until middle school. I'm just glad nobody saw me doing that. Or maybe they did, and that's why no one wanted to talk to me. Oh. But yeah, that world history class a few years later really hit different. Okay, class. Today we're going to talk about World War II. Now, World War II began. Hey, that symbol looks familiar. Shit. Hot take time. Manga is better than anime. Dub is better. No, sub is. Amateurs. How do you watch then, punk? PowerPoint. Nice. You watch the lecture recordings. I read the lecture slides. We are not the same. Here are my reasons for why manga is superior to anime. Disclaimer, I'm not trying to convince you. These are my opinions. I don't care about yours. Do whatever you want. Watch the live action for all I care. Reason 1. You dictate the pacing. Sometimes there's sections of excessive narration. In manga, you can freely skip lines that are dragging and get to the good parts. If you are missing some context, you can come back to anime, you don't really do so. This is so mad. These are the parts simpler. Denji's train of thought, leaving from wondering what his purpose is to Makima's boobs. And that's why I like manga more. And so, as my childhood years came to pass, I also moved on from manga. At least until the next phase. Phase 2, the slice of life. Like most people, I grew up, and as I entered college, my life became way more hectic and stressful. I wanted peace, but while I couldn't really have it, I could vicariously enjoy it through fiction, with slice of life manga. High school kids getting into silly antics, office workers finding excitement in mundane events, college kids getting blacked out drunk while playing strip rock paper scissors. I'm gonna talk about Grand Blue now. That was my segue. Grand Blue Dreaming is a scuba diving manga where the volume of water the characters dive into is almost as much as the volume of alcohol they consume, and the artist clearly spent a lot of time studying male anatomy and refused to let it go to waste. Grand Blue is also probably the funniest thing I've read and my favorite manga of all time. Reading Grand Blue was like hanging out with your friends, watching them get into ridiculous and hilarious predicaments. But in reality, I wasn't hanging out with them. I was alone in my dorm room. And I asked myself, why couldn't I be like them? So I joined the club. There wasn't a diving club at my college, but there was the next best thing, a hackathon club. Twice a year, we host a 24-hour computer programming competition called a hackathon, where a bunch of smelly nerds sit in a tight space sleeplessly building a semi-functional app for the chance of winning a $50 ShopRite gift card. I know. Exhilarating. But despite how it sounds, it was actually really fun. I was part of the events team, so every meeting all we did was think of fun mini events for the participants to do. Silly things like a cup stacking tournament, a pie eating contest, or a frozen t-shirt competition where we rolled a shirt into a ball, soaked it in water, froze it, and had teams unravel the shirt and put it on a person. And let me tell you, witnessing the face of betrayal on that one friend being sacrificed to put on a cold, wet shirt will always be funny to me. Why did you put the shirt on me? Only you can fit into it. I'm literally the biggest one out of all of us. You handle the cold best. You can't even feel cold, you don't have nerves. It's a condition I'm very insecure about. Hey man, that's not cool. Whatever, get me out of this. I feel the ice thawing. No. What? Ow. Okay, come on, stop playing. I'm starting to get wet. Sorry man, it's not personal. It is for me now. It is for Bob. Seriously, this isn't funny. Ow. Come on, we're friends. Help me. Ow. No, please. Was that really okay? We had no choice. This is the only way to bring her back, and we need her help to stop that monster. I hope you're right. I am. We have no future otherwise. Craft Wars, Revenge of the End. Sorry, I got distracted. There were just so many shenanigans I got into with my fellow organizers, and it was honestly not unlike what I read from the manga. I guess college kids will be college kids. Funny thing, I even found other Grand Blue fans among the friends I made, and let me tell you, they suck. Like, all I can say is, I really hope the creators of Grand Blue have a sponsorship deal with Spiritus, cause I know firsthand there were multiple bottles that would not have been sold without Grand Blue. Quick PSA, please do not spike people's drinks with Spiritus, it's pretty messed up. That's all. Anyway, I could really use a drink, I've been talking for a while. Here, have some water. Thanks. Glug glug. Why? So you can never hurt us again. But I play on peaceful. I think we got the wrong guy. Yeah. He deserved it though. What loser plays on peaceful? Yeah, what a loser. I'm glad he's gone. Anyway, let's get that guy next. He keeps looking at us funny. Phase 3. A whole new Sekai. Sorry, I blacked out for a bit. Anyway, where am I? Huh, neat. We've caught up to the most recent reading phase, Isekai. Isekai is about transporting to another world. The most standard version of this is reincarnating into a fantasy world, commonly through the magical power of industrial vehicular manslaughter. But here's a lukewarm take. Isekai is defined more by its vibes. I mean, otherwise Rick and Morty is technically an isekai, but when anyone thinks of isekai, they think of a generic self-insert boy becoming the most important and powerful person through the incredible accomplishment of existing, and is inexplicably pursued by 1 to 10 manic pixie dream girls. Looking at you, Kirito. That's not Kirito. Wait, which one's Kirito? I can spend a whole video on isekai classification, but this isn't an objective take on isekai, it's about my subjective relationship with it. This is my stage, my story, my soapbox. So, what is my special relationship with isekai? Honestly, I don't know. I've been kind of put in a loop reflecting on why I like isekai so much because I like a wide variety of them. I like Konosuba because it has a wacky cast of funny characters. I like So I'm a Spider, So What because watching the main character handle her bizarre predicament is interesting. I like Eminence in Shadow because it has a cringy edgelord that I relate to so hard. I like various isekai from generic power fantasy to relaxing slice of life to kingdom building. I can explain why I like each one individually, but I also like them as a whole. Why? One of my favorite isekai is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, which I abbreviate to Slimy Boy, and I enjoy it so much because I get to see the progress Slimy Boy makes, how he builds a kingdom on his own and grows his faction. Watching him strategize his developments and maximize the utility of his resources is weirdly enjoyable. It's like watching someone play Civilization. Maybe that's it. Isekai is like watching a Let's Play. Isekai is unique because the main character doesn't belong to the world they're thrusted into. They are inherently disconnected from the realities of the fictional world, so they interact with the world as a fiction, as a game. And oftentimes the world responds in tandem by giving the character game-like powers and game-like world mechanics. Isekai is basically a let's play of a story. It's a hero's journey with virtually no drama. And this design makes isekai a source of quick dopamine with a low amount of investment. It's addictive. I like isekai, but I don't know if that's good or not, because it feels concerning. And now I can't enjoy isekai without thinking about its larger implications. My friend once recommended Kuma Bear to me, so I watched it, and I know, watching anime? Ew. But I watched it and I ended up feeling depressed. It's just a show about a cute anime girl in a cute onesie living a peaceful life in a fantasy world. But to me, I felt like I was looking through a mirror, reflecting the sad, lonely, and frankly, largely adult audience it was targeting. The show is colorful and childish and happy, but done so to service its depressed and jaded audience, so they can distract themselves in this false childhood bliss, likely because that was the last time they felt genuine happiness. Hey, did you like the show? I'm so sorry, man. Let me know if you need anything. Be strong, friend. What? Isekai is meaningless self-insert wish fulfillment of a character self-inserted into a fantasy world. And the fact isekai is used to distract ourselves from addressing real problems makes isekai feel problematic. But frankly, Isekai isn't the problem. It's a crappy solution, but it isn't the problem. No, the problem is our lives suck. Escapism. Manga is a form of escapism. And while that sounds like a bad thing, like you're running from your problems, I think it's okay. It's ultimately just a way of coping, of finding an outlet for whatever struggles you at the current moment. But reality always comes back knocking, and you will have to answer. And that's also okay. In fact, that's more than okay. Because manga can prepare you. As much as I use manga for escaping, I also use it for inspiration. When I was a bored teenager, manga inspired me to practice cringy sword moves that brought me excitement. When I was a stressed out college kid, manga inspired me to find friends to do fun, stupid things with. When I was tired of life, manga inspired me to pray a bus will hit me. That's not a joke, by the way. I wanted an insurance claim to pay for my college tuition, but that never happened. My point is, life is hard, and sometimes you need to retreat and reorganize. And manga has been an effective strategy for me to do just that. I mean, for an example of turning fantasy into reality, look at Haikyuu fans. Over my years, I have witnessed an Old Testament-like swarm of volleyball players who started because of Haikyuu. I've watched them learn the sport and build their own communities, all to experience the thrills of volleyball they could only before watch. It's truly amazing how they took a fantastical experience they vicariously enjoyed and made it real. And I gotta say, I'm super conflicted because on one hand, respect, but on the other hand, minus tempo is not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. Look, buddy, I will not set you a minus tempo because first of all, I don't even know what that is. And second of all, even if I did, I wouldn't set you it. You see that over there? That's the weeb pile. You put your weeb crap there before you step on the court. If I can't have my Speedwagon body pillow, you can't have a minus tempo. Have some shame. But anyway, I think it's about time for me to go back to reality. Just after this chapter. So I have a time lapse of a sketch that I was quite proud of, so I'm gonna put that in the background. Okay, you know that calendar at the beginning of the video that says December? Yeah, it used to say September, and I had to update it after each month. And let me tell you, having to go through a fictional calendar is one of the most surreal experiences ever. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just like makes you question if life is real, I guess. And no, this video did not take that long. I was just busy with a bunch of random things and I only could work on this on and off. But at least it's done, and hopefully by the time I upload this, the year hasn't ended yet. Otherwise I have to update the calendar again. Anyway, happy holidays, and I'll see you next year, hopefully.